I have learned from multiple sources, inside and outside of the Gambia, that a Black British female has been unalived in the Gambia. And unfortunately, this time there is no question that this sister was actually murdered because she was found in a well on her property, wrapped in a cloth with wounds to her head. And it is just so tragic and distressing, especially on top of what has been happening with Black American women in the Gambia, per my previous video. The Black female from Britain at issue, this sister's name is Shakina Chinedu. She was born and raised in Britain, but she moved over to the Gambia back in 2017, and that was her place of residence since that time. Now, Shakina did not have a YouTube channel, but she did have a Facebook page, and she had been interviewed on various other people's YouTube channels. So, as is my practice, I looked into what I could find out about her so that I can share that information with my viewers. The information that I have received indicates that this sister was last heard from by her family and friends on February 13th. Today is Friday, February 16th in the US, and it is my understanding that her body was discovered yesterday, on Thursday. Shakina lived in the Brusaby area of the Gambia, but she was building a compound in the Kungpujang Mariama district, and I imagine that I have totally mispronounced that, but those familiar with the Gambia know the area that I'm referencing, and that is where her body was found. Her vehicle was also on the property. This sister was 60 years old, no knowledge of anything else wrong with her. But even if there were, the fact that she had wounds to her head and was wrapped in a cloth in the bottom of the well, or they also call it a soak-away pit, certainly disputes any narrative that she died from anything other than an action by someone or someone's in the Gambia. When I first heard of the situation, she was missing and her cell phone was off, which they said was unusual for her. And her friends and family were asking for anyone with knowledge of her whereabouts to contact the police. But in less than a day, I was advised that unfortunately, she had been unalived. What is going on in the Gambia with single Black females?
Big question right there. What's going on in the Gambia with our Black sisters from the diaspora? Not very good news coming in today. Certainly one big concern for those who are keen to have the diaspora return home, engage with the continent, engage with the motherland. This is Africa Our Business, AOB. If you're here for the first time, kindly subscribe and help support the channel. Gambia is an interesting country located in West Africa. If you look at the nature of the country itself, it's totally surrounded by the much bigger nation of Senegal. And this is to the Atlantic Sea. And the nation essentially runs along the Gambia River, which really is the entire breadth of the country. So it's a fairly small nation. But of importance to us is that this is a nation that has been in turmoil, politically especially, and that has also had economic effects to the larger public, and obviously with that there's a huge impact on the social fabric of that society. So much as Gambia has been welcoming a lot of brothers and sisters from the diaspora to return home, to buy land, to build there, to engage with the rest of the continent, the rest of the country, it's been a delicate process, and largely because of that checkered history of that nation having been managed by two dictators previously, the last one being Yahya Jammeh. So let's take a look at the new developments on Sister Shakina. Then after that, have an engagement on what really are the realities surrounding the passing of this sister and the society of the Gambia.
Listen to your Uncle Mali. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. So, things are moving on fast, quickly. I got this voice note come through on my WhatsApp last night. So this is while I'm editing the video I did yesterday about Shakina passing away. I got this voice note come through on my phone. Check this out.
As I came off the phone, good news. They've got the one of the men, the main suspect, one of the men that was with her in the morning. He works for her. They've got him in custody. Thank God, they've got him in custody, Rasta. So good news. They arrested him and they've got him in custody. So questioning. They're going to search the house. Any stolen. They've got the main suspect, who was in the car with her. He worked with her. He was with her Wednesday morning. He was the last person seen with Shakina. So, I'm so great. I would just thank God. Yeah, they've got him in custody.
Okay, let's carry on with the recording. Here's what else was said.
Yeah, we got him. Just come from the police station. I saw him. Some little 2 foot tall, nothing, Sierra Leonean, bleached skin. You know, ain't the 80,000 her daughters brought over from the UK for her 60th birthday. He killed her for £1,000, uncle. They found it in his house, £1,000. They found $80,000 in my trash, same Sierra Italy. We said, we ain't got 80,000 in our front room, so we're not Gambian, we're not Sierra Leoneans. He killed her for £1,000. I blame the government. They got the people like slaves.
Okay, so the sister described the man as 2 foot tall, bleached skin from Sierra Leone, and actually seen him as well. So
2 feet tall, though, is rather very short. I'm not sure that's accurate, but let's listen in.
that's a big piece of information. At least we know who and what, rather than it being up to just guesswork. So I'm very pleased about that. The only thing that I think I would have to disagree with, well, push back on, but let's not use the word disagree because, yeah, it's a good day. She was talking about how she blamed the government, and personally, I think that it's bigger than the government. Remember I was saying in the previous video, I was talking about that invisible hand coming over from the West. Well, these people are impacting not only governmental policy, but financial policy over here as well.
So Uncle Mali here is essentially talking about the unseen hand in terms of the economy, its impact on life in the Gambia. And Gambia really is, in terms of economics, a fairly poor nation in Africa. So the competition for the meager resources in Gambia is rife. And one of the things you'll realize is that the arrival of the diaspora in the country presents a unique challenge, that they arrive with a bit more money. So obviously they are bound to get property that the ordinary folk might not be able to get. much as they're infusing money into the economy, some of these things create resentment. And Gambia, coming from a politically charged atmosphere, it's been ruled by dictators essentially since independence, there for close to 52 years. Then the next guy comes in, Yahya Jammeh. And Yahya Jammeh came in 1994 through a coup d'etat and promised to hand over power to civilian rule. That never happened. And fast forward in 2016, when he lost an election that he had initially tried to rig, he conceded defeat, but 2-3 weeks later, he decided he was going to stay in office. So that created further problems, and he had to be kicked out by the economic community of ECOWAS in West Africa. And that allowed the then elected president, what was his name? Barrow, I think, Adama Barrow, to get into office officially and then run the country. But what he picked as a country, and for a man who had very, very little experience, he was essentially just,
Adama Barrow.
I think, if I remember correctly, a treasurer in one of the political parties. And when it comes to running a country, obviously this is an enormous task. So inheriting a country that was that torn apart, with systems that essentially were beholden to a dictator who had his networks on the ground, and it was a game of survival for most of the citizens in that country, until the youth, the young uprising that eventually had to kick him out through the ballot. Gambia was a country that was not in a good state. And consider further to that, that it's largely an Islamic community, and that combined with Africa's many traditions and culture, Gambia is deeply rooted in patriarchy. So obviously, a lot of the sisters who are coming to a country such as this are bound to face difficulties, coming from a Western culture where you can speak up about anything, where you're independent. So when you arrive in a country like that and you want to be self-assertive and express yourself and, own your own space, it is bound to ruffle feathers. And ruffling feathers based in the background of poverty, of patriarchy, and all these dynamics in this society is a really, really difficult situation to navigate as a single lady. That obviously makes you an easier target for men or young men in a society who believe it's their word or the highway. So the sisters that we've lost in Gambia have been victims of a much larger scheme of things. But you can chime in the comments section if you're Gambian or if you've experienced Gambia. Share your thoughts about what you've seen on the ground. Looking from outside in, and with a bit of understanding of the political narratives that we have across the continent, and of Gambia specifically, especially during the time of Yahya Jammeh, these are things that have made a lot of young people to be resentful, to be in a space where they wish to take charge but do not have the capacity, do not have the resources. It's a very small country, and anybody who looks like they have a bit more money than them are bound to ruffle feathers in Gambia. This is really sad. Rest in peace to the lives that we've lost. We just hope that the government of Gambia, its Foreign Affairs Office, and certainly the internal security systems can be able to figure out a way to arrest these situations. It does not make Gambia look good. It does not work for investment in Gambia. It does not work for visitors going to Gambia. It certainly does not work, especially for our sisters, whether they're European or African, visiting that country. So these will be difficult situations, difficult conversations as we go forward. But clearly, somebody has been arrested. Maybe a few more other people will be arrested. And we just hope that this can come to a logical conclusion where justice is served and these sisters are put to rest with the knowledge that something is being done and being done effectively. This is Africa, our business, AOB. Indeed, whether it's in Gambia or whether it's in South Africa or whether it's in Ghana, anywhere in Africa. It's our business. We have got to collectively realize that the continent belongs to the wider Africa and the diaspora. So we need to make it work. If this is something that resonates with you, we would like to keep you engaged with the continent, our analysis about what's happening across board. So kindly subscribe, hit the like button, and share this content. And we'll see you in the next story. This is Definitely Africa, our business. I'm signing out. Peace and love. Bye-bye.